Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm back to making videos. I've been missing in action for a couple weeks. As some of you may know, I spent the winter in Lake Havasu, Arizona, and we came back, and I've had the last 2 weeks of trying to get everything unpacked and put away. And to be honest with you, my studio is a total disaster area. I'm trying to film in a little bit different place today. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. I may have to go back to my other one, but I'm actually in my studio where I have easy access to just about anything that I might need versus filming across the kitchen in my office. And then I have to, if I forget something, I got to walk over here. So anyway, today we're going to be doing a kind of a generic card. You can make it into anything that you want. I need to give a shout out to Amy Taylor from Just a Little Ink. She actually gave me this idea. I have changed it up somewhat, but it's pretty much the same as what she's done. I just used different paper and different sayings. So it's got this little, these details on the front, and then the inside I just put "May your day be filled with love and happiness." And I again put some designer series paper on the side of the envelope. So what we're using today for product, I'm using, to get the little pieces for the front, I'm using an on display bundle. This is actually on the last chance list. And of course, as I often do, I order things and then I never seem to get around to using them. So I'm going to get some use out of this. It has, you can really make a bookshelf, and it has all these different things that you can put in the shelves. And here are the dies. And the only die that we're using is this large bookcase. I'm not even putting the, let me get this out so I can pull it out. I'm not even using the top of the bookcase, but you know, you can cut out most of the images that are in the stamp set, have dies to cut out, and then you can place them on the shelves in your bookcase. But I'm just using the actual bookcase part today. For the greetings, I'm using a new set. This will be available beginning in May, and I'll be honest with you, I absolutely love the greetings and the sayings in this set. It's just got everything in here that you could want. I would like to have a thank you, but that doesn't happen to be on here, but you can only put so many stamps. And so we're using the sayings from Phrases and Frames, and I'm using "Have a Fabulous Day" and "May your day be filled with love and happiness." I especially like the belated birthday one because I'm always needing a belated birthday. And then here are the dies that go with it. We're not using any of those. They're kind of cool, and I will be using it, and I'll show you there's a special effect that you can do with these. So that's the Phases and Frames, and it will be available beginning March 5th in the new mini catalog. Or I guess we're not calling them minis anymore. Stampin' Up! Has done away with their annual catalog that they used to come out with in May, the bigger one, and now we're only going to have 3 smaller catalogs 3 different times throughout the year. We're also using, for ink, we'll be using the Memento Black, as I use that a lot. We'll be using a couple of punches, and I think, I don't know if these are retired or not. I kept all my punches, so we're using that 1 3/4 and 1 7/8. And we are going to be using, for dimensionals, we're going to be using the 25-27 in color flat pearls. It has all the in colors. And we're actually going to be using the Secret C ones. And I think, let me show you what we have in your envelope. You have your card base and of course, your envelope. You have your card base, which is basic beige, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. You'll have a piece of Very Vanilla for the inside layer, which is 4 by 5 1/4. You'll have a piece of Secret C that is, again, 4 by 5 1/4, and that's what we're going to be mounting our cutouts on. You'll have a scrap of Very Vanilla, a scrap of Basic Black. You'll have some linen thread. There we go. Sorry, I'm out of practice. Can you tell? And then you'll have a couple of little strips of designer series paper. The designer series paper that I'm using, I believe, is called Beautiful Journey. And to be honest, I'm out. I don't have hardly. I have a few scraps like this. That's about it. But it is in the catalog, and it will be in the new. I believe it's in the upcoming catalog also. So to start with, I'm going to show you how I did my die cutting, and we'll work on that a little bit. So you're going to take your, let's see, where do I have all of this? Guess maybe I don't have it all. Sorry, I'm kind of confused here. Okay, so what's going to happen, and if I had the designer series paper here, you could see, but we'll pretend that this is your designer series paper. And you would line this up and kind of get it, arrange your die. You know, let me grab another piece of designer series paper that I can show you what I'm talking about so you'll understand. Just give me one quick second. It won't take me but a second. Okay, so in your packet you will have a piece of designer series paper that will be a 6x6 piece, and you can take your die cut and you can arrange it wherever you want, how you want your pictures on the front to look. You can do it over on the side and get up and down, so wherever you want. And then you're going to run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and when you get done, you'll have a frame that looks like this, and then you will have, I put these in here to keep them from getting lost, hopefully. You'll have all these little pieces that are going to match up into this. So to get started, I'm going to show you how I would do this. I put this on here and I try to get it straight and lined up as best I can, with equal margins on this side. They won't be the same top and bottom, but you want them to be the same, but you're going to have a little bit more on the sides. And then I just took a piece of a couple of 3 sticky notes, Post-it notes, whatever you want to call them. And I tried to keep this straight, not always easy. Let's turn another light on here and see if it helps a little bit. My lighting over here is not going to be the best, I don't think. So you're going to line that up and get it just about like so. I think this corner needs to come up just a smidge. And then I took a sticky note, Post-it note, and I put it on all. I put it on 3 sides just to keep it steady, so that when you're gluing in your little pieces, it does not move on you. Just like so. Okay. And then what you do is, let's see, did I even bring, oh, let's see, I need some, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I'm not very well organized. I got to get back in the swing of doing videos. Let me go grab my adhesive real quick. So what you'll do is you'll take your pieces that you've cut out and you'll try to line them up in the area where they match the pattern that you have going on. I've got this like so. So you see how that matches up with everything that's the pattern. So then I just took, and I chose to use liquid glue, and I actually put mine on the paper. Now, or on the cardstock. If you want to use your adhesive runner, you'll have to put it on the back, but just make sure you get the edges and the corners so they stick down. And then you just put it down. And I just went over it with that. So then you would just continue on with that same pattern. Like so. And you're going to continue to put all of these pieces in their appropriate spot, and then when you get done, this is what you end up with. And that's going to be the focal point of the front of your card. So let me put all of these pieces over here so I don't lose them, because I have another card to make. We will be doing this card at class, which is in next Thursday, Friday, I believe. I tell you, I can't keep track of the time ever since I came back. So when you have that all done, is it going to look like this? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our linen thread. Why can't I remember that today? And I chose to just put it along this edge. And I better get my tweezers out because I know I'm going to need some help. Tying this knot. And so you're just going to take this, wrap it around here a couple of times. I use my tweezer and my reverse tweezers as like an extra hand, because I don't do this very well anymore. My fingers, as we age, and you all will experience this at some point, they lose their dexterity, and so it's not so easy as it used to be to tie things good and tight, and I want this to be quite snug. So once I get my knot where I want it, I just put my tweezers over that, and then I tie my knot. I'm thinking these are more kind of masculine type cards, so that's why I chose to use the linen thread and just a knot, although they're perfectly appropriate for a woman also. And then I just pulled this over till I had it where I thought I wanted it. Like so. And the one thing you can do, if you want to keep it in place, you can take a glue dot, kind of wad it up a little bit, and I think I'll pull this up just a wee bit. There we go. And then just put it, I got this almost too snug. It's kind of bowing my card, but I think it'll be okay if I stick it down. Just stick it right where you think you want it, and then put your knot right on top of it, and that will keep it in place. Okay, I'm going to just trim these off real quick because I don't want them super long. Hope you've all been doing well. I'm amazed at how quickly it got hot in Lake Havasu. They normally have triple-digit temperatures in mid-May to the end of May, and I left on the, what did I leave? On the 26th, I think it was. And we had already had 2 weeks of triple-digit temperatures, and it's too hot for me. And there's not a lot you can do when it's that warm. You have to get out early, get your walk or whatever you want to do, and then you kind of stay inside, or at least I do. Some people do go out in it, not in the really hottest part of the afternoon, but it was too hot for me. So my husband flew in to Las Vegas. We went and picked him up, and I said, "Hun, what do you think about heading home early? Because there's nothing." And he gets it's not his fun thing to do, and he gets very restless there and bored. So we just loaded up. We picked him up on a Friday. My brother, who was down there with me, or who I was down there with, he actually left on Saturday morning. We left on Sunday morning and got home Monday. And the only thing I miss I missed the lifestyle I had down there because I was really retired down there. Whereas here, you know, life creeps in, the busyness creeps in, and you're not super retired like I was down there. Okay, now we're going to take and do our greetings. So I have the 1 7/8 punch, and I'm going to punch out a black. Or actually, you know what? I think for this one, since I used a different color, I'm going to go get me some Secret C. Again, here's why I'm in my studio, because my scraps and everything are right here. And it doesn't take any time at all for me to, excuse me for meandering off here. I'll get a Secret C scrap. And we will punch this. Again, this is an 1 7/8 punch. One of these I think is still current, but sorry, not sure which one, and that's bad on my part. And then we'll take the 1 3/4, and this is what we're going to stamp on. Like so. And we will get our stamping done. And where is my... Once again, I'm going to step away and get my stamping and pierce mat, which is right here on my desk. Got some cords and lights strewn around. I have to be a little bit careful that I don't fall flat on my face. I did do that in Lake Havasu. Thankfully, I was not hurt. I was walking and trying to be nice and move out of the way, and I stubbed my toe and ended up on the ground. So sometimes being nice doesn't work out the way you had intended it to. And I see I'm missing a stamp. Boy, I'm sorry. I'm so discombobulated. But I will get back in the swing of it, I promise. Hopefully back to my weekly videos. And I'll make a determination on if I'm going to go back to where I was, or if I'm going to continue to film here in my studio. Okay, and then for this one, we are actually doing the hope you have a fabulous day, or have a fabulous day, which these greetings are just so nice. This is, that Phrases and Frames is a $1 million seller, Susan Campfield, who is a really great demonstrator, and I watch a ton of her videos. And she reached the $1 million sales mark, and when that happens, you get to design your own, help design your own stamp set. And she's a very kind, loving person, and she is all about sending caring cards, and so this was her choice. Okay, there's our stamping. We're going to take and put a little bit of adhesive down the corner of our inside layer for our little embellishment for the front. You always want to make the front as pretty as you do the inside is kind of pretty like you do the outside, and then you decide how you want this to line up. And I just put this narrow strip right along the edge, like so. And then we will trim off the overlap here. So I had the joyous pleasure of going to the dentist yesterday, which is always an adventure. Thankfully, everything was fine. I've been blessed with usually pretty good results with my teeth, and yesterday was no exception. And then my husband, we both went at the same time, and holy cow, he had to have a couple of x-rays. Does it get expensive? My goodness. And unfortunately, we don't have any dental insurance, so that was a big hit to my pocketbook yesterday. I told my husband, I don't know how you can save money which I've been trying to do a little bit. And I tell you, just things keep popping up and you can't really get it done. Okay, there's our inside piece. Now we're going to take this, our greeting for the front, and we're going to put it on our circle. I hope I'm in frame here. It's going to be a lot of adjusting if I decide to stay over here. Okay, and then we are going to put on some dimensionals. And I think I just have the ends, the sides of a sheet, but they work perfectly fine. So that's what we're going to. I always use all of these. I don't let any of it go to waste because they stick perfectly fine. There's no reason not to use them. This card comes together pretty quickly. The biggest the thing that, you know, gluing in all the little pieces is what takes the longest. Other than that, it's a piece of cake. Okay, and then you can decide where you want to put it based on how much of your design. I have a lot of sky, so I am going to put mine, I think, up here on the corner, and I'm going to let it hang over a little bit. There we go. And then we will take our Secret C embellishments, and let's see, I think I will put them. I always kind of like to do, I don't know how straight that is. It doesn't look too straight, does it? Let's see if I can. I don't ever have much luck pulling up. Yeah, it's going to stay. Might just be my eyeball, but it doesn't look super straight to me. I'm just going to put 3 of these down here. Okay, there's that. And then for our envelope, we will just take, let's see. Again, I always use, as you all know, I'm a liquid glue girl. And we will take our, and let's see. Trying to decide which way this goes. Nope, it goes this way. Okay. And then I'm just going to put this right along the edge of our envelope. And we will cut off the overhang. Always make sure on your envelopes that it's stuck down really tightly so your envelope doesn't get torn apart when it goes through the machines at the post office. And that, oh, and look what I think it's all right. Yeah, that's fine. I thought I put it on upside down the envelope. So here's our card that we just completed. And as you can see, I used totally different designer series paper, which you can do. You do want it to be a paper that has some kind of a design or scene on it. And here is the envelope for this one. And that's it for today, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it more than you can know. And every view, whether you choose to watch me in the daytime or in the evening, is greatly appreciated. And may God bless each and every one of you. And I shall see you next week. Bye-bye.